Welcome to the Enchanted Sanctuary, the podcast for women ready to explore self-discovery and spiritual growth. Whether it's mastering your mindset, exploring energy work, or tapping into your intuition, this podcast is your go-to toolbox for spiritual and inner work. Think of it as a cozy chat with friends, where we celebrate the magic of growth and the beauty of becoming your true self. Each week, I'll talk with amazing women who share their personal journeys and the tools they've discovered to inspire and empower others. So if you're ready to embrace your path, discover new tools, and feel inspired, hit subscribe and join me in Enchanted Sanctuary. Hi, it's Nikki here and welcome back to the Sanctuary. And today I have got somebody called Sharon Hart, who's also known as Chez Sparkles. And I've just found out she's literally only 50 minutes away from me in France. It's absolutely amazing. Sharon is a Reiki healer. She also does crystal healing. She runs women's circles and meditation as well. And I'm just so excited because we've just been quickly exchanging about how she got to here, her journey, and you know, sparkles, I think that just sums you up because you really are just full of sparkles. She's got a wonderful energy about her. So thank you, Sharon, for being here.
It's such a pleasure. And finally to have a chat with you. We've had an online connection for quite some time now, haven't we?
We have. We've even got the same hair colour.
Yes.
For those listening, we've both got purple hair, which is lovely. So, yeah, Chez Sparkles. So where did that name come from?
Oh, well, I know this sounds really bizarre, but I used to get called Miss Sparkles. I don't know if it was the crystals thing or whatever when I was living in the UK. So I've been in France 5.5 years now. And I would get cards to Miss Sparkles. And messages to Miss Sparkles. So that was a nickname given to me. And then when I arrived here, it happened again. So I just thought, you know what, the business, I have to think of a business name. And I thought, you know what, it's got to be Chez Sparkles.
Yeah, and it just,
a bit of French, a bit of English.
Your energy. You really do have a sparkly energy.
And my French friends and clients know the word sparkles, which I find amazing as well.
I am called Madame Sparkle.
Yeah, oui. yeah. So that's where it's come from and stuck. So, you know, even my email, sharon.sparkles.heart, is because that's how people know me. You know, Sparkle Sharon or Sharon Sparkles. So that's the name that sticks, makes me happy, makes other people happy. That's all it's about.
So right. Excellent. Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit about your journey first, of where you got to where you are now.
Oh, well, when my children were young and I had worked in retail and banking and seen lots of changes going in the banking world, and I thought I want to retrain doing something else. And my first thought was, what do I want to do? I want to help people. I could be a nurse, but I faint at the sight of blood. That's not going to work. And a husband who worked away from home a lot. So I thought, I'm never going to be able to do nights or anything. I'm going to have to rethink this. And just happens, one of those blurby kind of papers that you've got in the summer looking at adult courses at local colleges, and he's popped up, and I looked through and thought, oh, holistic therapy. What is that? And it was all still quite new back then. 25 years ago this was. And I looked at it and thought, oh, I can nurse without nursing. And signed up for it. So it was quite a condensed course, a bit of this and a bit of that. But there was a lot of anatomy and physiology, which I was doing more of that than my cousin who was doing nursing, and nutrition, a bit of counselling. So it was a really condensed course. And that's when the doors opened, and I did advanced studies on all of those disciplines and added later to that. And the first experiences I had were within the college. I was starting to feel and see things, and took me by surprise. What is this? Even with reflexology, I did it as part of the course thinking it was going to be, a lovely foot massage. So coming from a skeptical point of view, So this wasn't it was a natural progression, but quite of a shock initially. And when you have a new client, your first client, when you come back in the room and she says, "Oh, my back's gone," and my first words were, "I'm so sorry. What have I done?" And she went, "No, all my back pain has gone." And she hadn't
Wow.
told me she had any back pain. She was in the middle of moving home. And afterwards, the tutor, he went, it happened, it worked, didn't it? And I went, "I don't know what you're talking about," because it really freaked me out. So from that was the door opening. I was seeing visions with clients, seeing animals and colours, and started to interpret what was happening. Then a big jump, opened up a business with a business partner, because I was working so much mobile. It's hard work working mobile. And then further progression within the treatment room, anything from experiences from angelic spirit guides. I had a white cub wolf in the treatment room with me, in the corner of my eye, every time I was doing energy work without knowing I was doing energy work. I was still only doing massage and Reiki and natural facial. So I make facial products, body products too. And then another big moment was when a client came in who was there in the area on business, and she actually just wanted, I think it was like an aromatherapy based massage. I work with essential oils and herbs. And at the end of it, she went, "Oh, my darling, I didn't know you were Reiki attuned." She went, "You don't know what that is, do you?" I went, "No." She went, "I suggest you look that up, my dear. I'm probably never going to see you again. I've just popped in the area for a meeting." And I went home and I thought, "Oh, all of this is happening and there's a name for
My
it."
goodness.
So obviously off I went to my Reiki attunements and did that slowly over time to masters in teaching. But there's always a 2 steps forward, like a massive jump, and then there's got to be some processing time. And I found recently here that people are coming for this, that, and the other, but they're opening up massively
Yeah.
spiritually and taking them by the surprise. But I
Yeah.
think it's the time that we're in. I think
Very,
we
very
need
much.
this for people to connect into that other part of themselves. But yeah, mind blowing
Yes.
from 0 to being where I am now. It's incredible.
And I think, yeah, you just tapped on something there, because being over here, I mean, before I was up in Nantes, there was hardly any expats at all. And down here, there's a lot of expats in the area that me and Sharon both live in. And there was one expat said to me that they've left the rat race of the UK. They've all stepped out of their jobs and they're now over here, retired, sitting by the pool, feeding their chickens. And some of them are starting to wake up. Now they've got this time in their hands. They've got the time to really think, oh, hang on, who am I? Why am I
Yeah,
here? All these questions start coming up. And I think these are the people that you're also tapping into. These
yeah,
people are beginning to open up and realize something, that there's something so much deeper to life than just feeding their chickens sitting by the pool.
yeah,
And your story, I said this on another podcast, I say it so often, that I feel like that before we come here, it's like we have this blueprint of, what we're going to be in life. And it's all these different photos. And there's been one photo of like the healer. And when we come in as human beings and we're young, we don't know what this healing's about. Like you were saying,
yeah,
you had no idea what it was. So we start choosing the things like, to be a nurse or to be a doctor as a child, or, everything where we can help people. And then, then you start realizing, well, hang on, no, that's healing, but it's not the healing I'm meant to be doing. I'm meant to be doing something completely different. And it's so funny because I'd just taken a poster off my wall. I had little things all pinned around from magazines. It was in French. And I took it down and I put it on my desk. And I thought, that's going to come into the conversation. And it said, Synchronicity, la vie nous guide. So the synchronicities, life guides you. And that's exactly what happened to you, how these little messages come in. Like, here you go. You need to do your Reiki
yeah,
because that's what you're doing already.
yeah. There was a penny drop moments, even coming to France. I wanted to move to France from my first visit on a school trip when I was 10 years old. And
Yes.
brought my kids here. I mean, my kids are grown up now, and would drag them to France. They had a wonderful time. I'm saying drag. I didn't really drag them. It was just always there.
Yeah.
And I was married a very long time, and going through divorce, I thought, oh, well, that's gone. That's not going to happen. There was always never a moment for it to happen because it was meant to happen. No. And I woke up one morning, I thought, why can't I go to France on my own? Why have I got to have somebody with me? I can do this. So my local friends and clients know this. I actually, the premises that I'm in now with my lovely Martin, I came over to see another properties, and that was manifested with a vision board at the right time when the divorce was through. And I just can't believe it happened. The property come through when I actually put my head to it, and it was the best thing. I woke up and I thought, why can't I do that? Be brave. So I come to France just before Brexit with 2 cats in an old camper van. And just before I was supposed to move, I found on the same day I lost the buyer of my home in the UK. I had cancer.
Whoa.
So I had to deal with that. And instead of me staying put, which my northern family were, Pet, you're going to have to stay here so we can keep an eye on you. So that's making me more determined. So pre-Brexit, I just messaged them all on a Thursday or Friday and said, right, that's it. I'm moving to France on Tuesday with my
I love it.
And I lived in my van in the air in the village, got permission from the mayor, because I'm trying to buy these houses, but now I've got to try and resell my home. And the lady I bought off, she let me live in a part of the premises until I could sort that out. But I just knew it was the right thing. And when I went back, so all my girlfriends and girl family, go, we're so proud of you. And I found out later it was all the guys going, is she going to be right? Is she going to be safe? Do you not think you should encourage her to stay home? And so they didn't tell me this till I was next back and they could see I was settled. And I said, what did you truly think? And I'm not joking, every single one of them, my female closest family and friends, said both brave and bonkers at the same time. But it was the right. I just feel like I'm supposed to be here. I've followed my heart.
Totally.
It's very difficult to do it in the UK if you've got a really hectic life. You can't listen. It's hard to listen to your inner voice, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very hard. I mean, I worked as a biochemist in the UK, and I left the UK in 2001.
Yeah.
And it gave me a whole life change. It was a time I could really become the person I was meant to be over here.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can't. And I had a conversation with a friend the other day about this, that in the UK, there's almost like no boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't this thing of boundaries. And I feel that also affects our energy as well. Whereas over here, the French do have boundaries, even in their language. But I think as well, because we move over here, we're more isolated. It's quieter. We're not in this rat race. We're out of the jobs.
Yeah.
And it really gives you time to really tune in and discover who you really are and what you're meant to be doing. But that's quite a journey. You've done some major steps of leaping over, literally leaping.
Yes, I just left. And poor Tiger Lily died last year. I had to buy another van, and we're actually camping in the back of a van. I'm quite happy with that. Just the most wonderful adventure, and to feel like, a woman. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I think you're a Reiki Master, aren't you?
Reiki Master, and just feel as we were chatting before we went live that I feel like we have a very similar vibe in our on our place is to hold space for people.
Very, very much.
And that was the whole ethos around Chez Sparkles. So in the garden came with a little cottage that wasn't even in the particulars, and we're working our way to moving in there. to be able to have people come and stay overnight or for the day, work in the gardens and do meditation, perhaps do some treatments, and just be in a safe, comfortable space. No one ever wants to leave when they come here, I'm just saying, whether that's personally or professionally. They're very comfortable. But it has that kind of feels safe, like as if we're all under a big oak tree, an oak tree and a willow together.
We've got so many things in common, because we've got a woodland at the back that we bought, and and that is a place that we wanted to help into people to hold space to bring in their spirituality through nature. You're saying about the big oak tree, and being in the garden, and we've got a lot of very similar points. And it's very true that this holding space. I know for me that Reiki, I don't see it as a healing modality. I think it's a way, it's a path that's opened up so much more. And this thing of giving people a safe space to explore their own journey.
Try something new, and I think to be truly content in our human form is to embrace our spiritual side.
Yes.
To be complete.
Yes.
That's how I feel. There's times in life where it's a bit quieter, but I couldn't imagine not being able to tap into that.
It's so true. So true. I mean, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. It's almost a cliche now when people say that, but it is so true. It's part of us. We cannot deny that. And to deny your own spirituality is almost denying you've got legs or got arms, or it's just part of us. And
so even when I have clients come for one-to-ones, it's still quite common for a first-time client to say, well, I've never experienced that before, or this might sound a bit weird, but
yes.
And inside I'm like,
yes.
Because then this question comes, and an excitement with that. But how lovely is it? If you think, Nikki, when you started your journey, when I started my journey, I didn't have that many people to talk to about that.
No.
And now it's comfortable to be able to talk about it.
So much. It's comfortable, but there's still, and that's why I've opened up the sanctuary as well, because there's so many people out there who wake up to their spirituality and their friends, especially a lot of expats. There's quite a lot still quite closed. Oh no, it's a bit woo-woo. It's a bit out there. You're a bit weird. And it's finding all these people and connecting them that, no, you're not alone. We're all part of this, the woo-woo lot, the woo-woo band. And it is so lovely when somebody says it, it's like, yes, go on, you can keep going with this.
Yes. It's not one of my favourite terms, woo-woo, because I think, to me, I'm probably too, this is normal.
It is normal.
It's normal.
It is normal.
And
It's
embracing,
meant to be.
Not just the spiritual side of things, but actually connecting with nature.
Yes.
And how you connect with others. I remember when I was in the UK and opening up a business, when I worked mobile, it was a bit different, but open up premises and noticed there was a bit of a little bit of lack of sharing and a bit of suspicion and closed doors, not letting people in. And so with that, I started a little group that met once a month. Because I think, how can I bring people together? There's all these people coming in. I've got no one else to talk to about this. And therapists that are not particularly working alongside together that well either. And also had people who made stuff, along with the skincare we made and jewellery and things like that. People were making things to sell in the salon because it had quite a big shop area. And from that, I woke up one morning, I know I'm going to bring them together. I'm going to have a health and healing festival. My business partner, I think, thought I was a bit bonkers. How are we going to make that happen? Oh, we're going to talk about it. And that was my first experience with manifesting. So talked about it, come across people, said, oh, how many businesses are you hoping to involve? There was about 40 or 50 in one way or another. Oh, I might be able to access some funding for you because it's supporting local business. So this thing from a light bulb moment turned into a health and healing festival, and managed at the festival. We had things going on. The stall holders, the therapists, even if their paths cross, I said, can you, such and such is going to concentrate on that while they're here. Can you perhaps look at that bit of your business and highlight that, but you couldn't talk about it all, and mix them all up. And beautiful friendships come out of that. Just in a non-competitive way. And I think there is a little bit of that here too. People need to find their tribe.
Yeah,
need to find their tribe.
It is.
And work openly. And I think that's part of our lot too, Nikki.
It is. It's why I've created the Enchanted Sanctuaries, because of this, because so many people kept coming to me, so I feel so alone on my journey. Where are all these other people like me? And that's it. It's bringing people together and really lifting that, because I think we are the way forwards. We're the guides to allow people to walk the path as well, because just as before we're recording, we were talking about this being a year 9, and also the year of the snake. So a lot about shedding and about transformation, closing cycles. And it's really the year where we're all stepping into what we're meant to be doing. It's like these chess pieces that we're all being moved into position. And I think that was happening in 2024. Move everybody in position. Now it's like, okay, I'm here. This is what I'm doing. Get started, because the ball is going to start going rolling really, really fast. I think midway this year, come next year, it's just going to be like, boom, the new world's here already, and we're part of it.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's time to put. It's not always easy to be a way shower, but that is our place, is to put our head above the parapet and say, we're here, loud and proud about it.
Yeah.
You want to come and join us? Come and join us. Wherever you are on your journey, whether you've got the odd question, or you just want to explore it a little bit more, or just see life through different eyes. There's so much joy in that, isn't there? And a deeper understanding of life, actually.
Yes.
Once you open the spiritual doors, you have a deeper understanding of life.
Very, very much. You do see it completely differently.
Yeah.
It could be a very difficult thing for people starting on their journey to see that, because you start seeing all the masks that have fallen down, and who's really behind the masks, what's really going on in the world, and you can't go back. You wouldn't. I remember when I was first attuned to Reiki, my Reiki healer said to me, "Are you ready? Because it will change your life considerably." It is that blue pill, red pill moment, that once you start that journey and you open up, life is so different. It's so magical. It's so true. You see the truth, and you also see the absolute magic and miracles everywhere. And it's incredible.
It is. And I think embracing that side, I don't know how your first experiences are with Reiki. Like I said, I was doing energy work without even knowing I was doing energy work. But I remember through my first Reiki attunement that I had a calming hand on my head. And I thought, well, that isn't the person practiced on me, because I'm squinting and I can see her at the bottom of my feet. But that was the first time I'd actually physically experienced something myself. Before that, it was visions, a flow of energy, and knowing that even if your hardest time, that you have still got this love and support.
Yes.
Upstairs is how I phrase it. It's very comforting.
Yeah.
It's very comforting.
We're not alone.
Times. Yeah.
And you also spoke to me as well just before about meditation.
Yeah.
So you've run meditation circles, or?
I do meditation with clients, and moving forward, so I have a women's circle. There'll be meditation. I'm going to run a beginner meditation course, which I've done before, just to get people into the swing of things. I call it meditation is my medication.
Yes.
Because if you keep your head straight, you can cope with things so much on a different level. It's just a different level, and move on from that. And so meditating in different formats. There's so many different ways we can do that. Not religiously, to make sure it's accessible for as many people as possible, for them to explore themselves from that point. I always think we have our own truth. I was talking to Martin about this the other day. We work out our own truth for our own experiences. So we can show things and explain things. That's my truth, that's your truth. And then you work out your story from then. And meditation is a great way for opening the door. And also to dismiss the idea that you've got to be sitting in a yoga position, nipping your fingers, however. Years of doing this, I can sit in a comfy chair and I'm gone in 30 seconds in that beautiful space. Might not be doing anything except being in that beautiful space. And what it does for your mind and for your soul, but also physically, it has a way of lifting even pain out of your body, being able to tap into that part of you. So to be able to share those skills is wonderful.
Yeah, I think we'll come up, give us a few points as well about meditation. I think a lot of people are very, they think they can't meditate because, I can't stop the thoughts. And the thing about meditation, it's not about stopping the thoughts because they will always be there. It's about not engaging with those thoughts, isn't it? And so that you can join the normal day-to-day life, then you know that you are in control of your thoughts and your thoughts aren't in control of you.
Yeah. I think one of the main things I would share with people who are starting that journey, want to explore it, is I presume you will be the same walking out in nature. You can just, all your senses tingle when you're out in nature once you're connected in. And I think the easiest way to start that is on a nice walk where your head is babbling onto itself, is actually give yourself a running commentary of what you can hear, see and smell around you. So I can feel the pebbles under my feet. I can hear the leaves rustling. I can hear the bird singing over there. I feel the sun shining on my head from over here. But do it like you're telling yourself a story. And then you'll find that your breathing slows, your walking becomes more steady, and then eventually you don't have to do that. And the more you do that, you won't have to do it at all on a walk. It's the most wonderful thing. So you're actually giving your brain something to think about.
Yes.
At the same time as connecting into all of your senses. So that's one of my tools that I share that I'm gifting you. That's just, and for those that are listening and watching, it's a lovely way to stop the chatter.
It is. That's really beautiful. And, I've often said about in those moments where your brain is busy, like go out and take photos, that photos are my thing. And it's going out, looking through a lens. It's like with you, it's going into that present moment where you're really seeing and feeling that miracle of that one leaf or that one flower, and then all the world just disappears. And I think, for you, what you just said, it's really about being so present. And when, if you just think about it, but actually saying it, I think is a totally different thing, because you really are then making that real, of giving yourself that proper running commentary rather than just thinking about it. Because when just what can you see, what can you hear, your brain will start wandering. But speaking it out, there's something different that happens on that.
Exactly. So you could start with it saying it out loud, and then you could be saying it in your head, like you're telling yourself a story in your head. And then eventually you will just be tuned in. And I'm not going to say that's going to happen overnight or your first walk, but it's just a lovely way to, I still do that occasionally, when your head is really, really full. I don't want to think about any of that on this walk. And doing that even for a couple of minutes, and I can feel my shoulders drop. Deep breath.
Yes.
And I'm in the walk. And that's it.
Yeah, that's just like me with the photos and those moments. I just get my camera out and okay, I'm just take some pictures of some leaves or some colours, and then it's there. And I think there's something about nature as well, connecting to nature, connecting back to Mother Earth, of just acknowledging her that she's there, and just takes you straight into that real beautiful moment that you're immersed in nature. You're not above it and getting all stressed out. You're actually receiving that healing from just being within it.
Exactly. That walking through trees. Where I'm from, the northeast of England, moved around a lot as a child and as an adult. But for me, even to go up onto the Pennines and walking up on the hills, you might see the odd sheep and lots of heather and not much else besides. But the freedom of the air blowing through you, and even standing there in the moment. I've done that before. Gone up onto the Pennines with a flask of tea, and sat with the windows open, and then just come outside, just stand. No one's going to see you because there's nobody there. And just feel all your senses waking up is such a magical thing, like walking on the beach. You can walk on the beach any time of year. Socks and shoes off, obligatory in our
Yes.
household.
Oh yeah, you
The sweetest moments is when you find out your grown-up children make their partners do the same thing.
I cannot go to the beach with shoes on. Even midwinter, my shoes and socks have to come off. Absolutely.
Exactly. I remember having a wonderful moment, talk about meditation, and I was preparing myself for quite a big operation with the cancer. And I went to the beach, and this day the beach was a bit misty in the morning, and there's going to be less people around on the beaches on a misty morning. And I thought, I'm going to do a letting go thing. And I made myself a little cairn of pebbles. And when I sat on the beach, there was no one on the beach at this point, and the water was really close to me. And this letting go went on really superficial to start with. Then I must have been there, I'm not joking, 2 hours, slowly thinking about a pebble, chucking it into the water. Lovely experience. But the tide started to go out. And then people started to walk in front of me, and I thought, I can't have that. I'm in my meditation space and I'm doing my letting go. And I just shut my eyes and in my head created this big bubble around me. And I kid you not one dog or person walked in front of me for the next 15 minutes till I was finished. They all walked around the back of me. That just shows you when you're meditating in that space, in nature, your aura is out there. It's just out there. And to me, that was my proof in the moment. Like people were just totally walking around the back of me. Let me finish chucking my stones into the sea.
That's so beautiful.
But it does.
Yeah, it does really prove what happens in that special moment. So what about the future? Have you got plans for what's coming ahead?
Well, hopefully next year, we've got people coming to stay this year at Chez Sparkles, but next year we'll be running retreats. And I'm saying retreats as me and you would picture retreats, would want to do retreats, just being at one with nature, but also putting together to do some online work and some courses online too, because I know people all over the world now who want to be able to tap into things, and it's the logical process. So I'm doing my homework on that for now, and it's the time's right. So I've done the odd workshops. Monthly workshops are starting from next month, and the first one is going to be a vision board workshop. But what we're going to do is work with meditation and journaling, etc. before, rather than a sticking exercise, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And these are all skills and workshops that I've done before, and there's great joy in it. but also part of that, I have my women's circle, but actually bringing people together in the workshops is creating another circle, isn't it?
Yes.
And there's so much healing and connection from cave days, isn't it? Really
Yes.
sitting in a circle. There's something quite magical happens in that time. And I was speaking to somebody last week about this. She said, "Oh, I don't have a creative bone in my body." And I said, "You'll be surprised. Once you're sitting in that space, it would just open the doors. You'll feel safe. And whatever happens and whatever you create is yours. And the support and the love, that's what it's all about. That's what the workshops are, just another tool
Exactly.
of holding space for people to come together.
Goodness, we've got so much in common, Sharon. It's unbelievable.
Haven't we? I can feel a lunch date coming.
Wow, very much. It's just like every point you take, every point you're speaking, like, oh my goodness, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about that. Yes, and I think, coming back to that post I took off the wall about the synchronicities, life will guide you. It's things like this, setting up this podcast of synchronicities like this. I mean, me and Sharon, we've been connected on Facebook. We've never actually talked. And sitting here talking to you, it's just like, oh my God, this was meant to be. This was just so meant to be that we were meant to connect on here.
I always felt that there's an energetic connection with us, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think we sing off the same song sheet. That's where the joy
very
is
much,
there.
Very much. So watch this space, listeners and viewers. There'll be things happening between me and Sharon, I'm sure.
Yes. I can see that too.
So where can people find you?
They can find me currently on Facebook on Chez Sparkles, and you can find me on Instagram at Sharon Sparkles Heart without an E, Sharon Sparkles Heart. And looking at doing some links with a website, but a very basic website because that's all I can cope with. And you can message me. My telephone numbers are out there as well. If you need any help and support with anything or want to talk about anything, I'm here.
Fabulous. There's only one Chez Sparkles. If you Google Chez Sparkles, you will easily find Sharon, because I think you must be so unique in that. So stay on the line, Sharon, because we'll have a quick talk afterwards. But thank you so much, everybody, for listening. I'll put Sharon's links in the description as well. And thank you so much for joining us here on The Sanctuary. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Thank you so much, Sharon, for being here. It's absolutely beautiful to talk.
Been a joy.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found inspiration, tools, and a touch of magic to support your journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might need it. And if you'd like to dive deeper, visit my website at nikkihoward.com, where you can learn about my upcoming membership, The Enchanted Sanctuary, a community for like-minded souls just like you, full of tools, creativity, and guidance to help you clear the path back to your true self. Until next time, take care of yourself, trust your path, and remember you are never alone on this journey.